Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'd like to do something a little different. I'd like to sit down and do my makeup. I've already done my face makeup, but I want to talk to you guys about something new I'll be doing on my channel, and I'm really excited about it. Like, I've been thinking about this for a while, and then it kind of really came to light recently. Like, I've just had some things kind of swirling in my head, like, what am I gonna do, where am I going with things, and then some things came to light this week, and just that light bulb went off, and I thought I'd like to sit and chat with you about it while I do my eye makeup. And sadly enough, I was going through my makeup in my cabinet and trying to like put stuff away and organize, and I pulled out this palette and I was like, you haven't even used it yet, Sarah, what are you doing? So I was gonna use the Light in Your Eyes, yes, Light in Your Eyes palette by Ensley Rain. If you haven't seen the palette, here it is. It's really pretty. It's got some, you know, cooler tones, some warmer tones, just a very neutral palette with some pops of color. There's some green, there's like that mustard yellow in here, but I thought I'd just sit down, do my eye makeup, and have a little chat with you guys. So anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with my Morphe E27 brush per usual, and I'm just gonna do a really nice, easy, I say that a lot, don't I? But I'm being serious this time. I'm gonna do a really nice, easy, just nice, easy, neutral eye, maybe classic. I'm kind of thinking of doing a red lip, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do a nice neutral lip. I don't know. You'll have to follow along and see what happens. I'm going to start off with this Sharing Space and then probably go in with this deeper color Soul Sisters. And then I might just do something really easy over top. Maybe this color or this gold over here. Not really sure. But so for those of you who don't know, let's start with a little background. I work in the medical field, and I've been doing this for about 20 years now. I know it seems like a really long time. I can't believe it myself, but I'm coming up on 20 years in 2026. It'll be 20 years that I've been in the medical field. I've had a lot of ups and downs throughout my career. Let me get this here. So I've had a lot of ups and downs throughout my career, as far as, you know, jobs I've had, places I've worked, people I've worked with, dealing with the medical field as a whole, as far as like the insurance issues, corporate issues, issues with other medical, you know, staff members, like not doing their job properly or doing, you know, the bare minimum. And I've had a lot of trouble with it, and there's been various times where I've tried to, you know, get out of the medical field. I ended up taking a break. I did take a 3-year break, and I really didn't think I was going to go back to it. I actually really tried to find another type of job, but that just did not work out for me. I did babysit for like a little stint of time, and it was around the time that I had my youngest daughter, and then I had my son, so I was kind of home with them anyway. So I was like, well, let me just, you know, pick up a babysitting job. So I watched the little boy until the time that he was ready to start school. So I did try to get out of it, but inevitably I was like, I have got to go back into this. So I started off back part-time, and thank goodness the time I was able to take off was during COVID, and I'm so thankful I was able to be home and be with my kids during COVID and not have to deal with the chaos and the uncertainty and all that was all encompassing with COVID. Like, everything within the medical field was just upside down, and I'm just so glad that that time I took off was my time at home with my kids, and I didn't have to deal with the craziness of it all. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out real quick. But anyway, the hardest part of my job has been seeing the lack of empathy for the patients. Like, I have such a hard time when I feel like patients need certain care, and you go to other medical, you know, other members of the medical team, and you're telling them like, hey, this is what's going on, and then they're just like, oh, whatever. They blow it off, or they don't listen, or they just act like it's not a to-do, and it's just been, you know, an ongoing thing. I don't understand how people can treat people so poorly or indifferent. And as a medical provider, I recognize that I took an oath to do no harm because I wanted to help people. I really did. Like, my whole career, I was like, I want to help people. I want to help people get better, and I want to help people, you know, feel better. And that's always been like my big thing. And it's just always been such a struggle along the way, trying to help people accomplish this when they're not getting the care that they need, you know, from all aspects, whether it's doctors, you know, CNAs, you know, nursing, or, you know, even other therapists. And it just makes it really, really dang difficult, you know. But over the years, you know, I've had to really internalize a lot of things, and I really had to realize that some people don't honor that oath, even though all medical professionals that go through school, you know, at the beginning of school or during school or after school when you graduate, you know, you take that oath to do no harm, to help people, you know. And I realize that some people take that oath and they don't mean it. They're just getting into the medical field because they want to make money. And let's be honest, you know, people make a lot of money working in, you know, the medical field. It's just where the money is. There's a lot in it. Everybody needs medical care. And a lot of people just do it to make a quick dollar and don't think about the actual people that's involved in it. Because at the end of the day, if we didn't have patients, we didn't have people getting medical care, none of us in the medical field would have a job. You know what I mean? So we really need to remember that. And it's really, really a hard thing sometimes, you know? I really like this. Look, I did keep it simple, guys. And I'm not saying that this is like all healthcare workers across the board. I'm not saying that at all, because it's not. I've worked with some amazing people along the way, and I've had, you know, amazing people teach me things. You know, when I first got into, you know, what I'm doing, I had a lot of good teachers that taught me along the way, and, you know, they showed me what the right thing to do was versus the wrong thing. And, you know, they really encouraged me, and I loved how they, you know, encouraged patients and helped patients along the way. And I've met some amazing, amazing people along the way, you know, patient-wise and family members and things like that. So it hasn't all been bad this whole, you know, 20 years or anything like that I'm saying, because I have met some wonderful people. It's just, you know, sometimes, you know, the good doesn't always outweigh the bad, and a lot of times the bad really tends to take over, you know. Like, what do they say? You could, like, for restaurants and things like that, they're like, oh, you could please 100 people, but it only takes one bad review. You know, so, or, you know, if you even look at it, it only takes one rotten apple to spoil the bunch type of thing. So it does make it really difficult when you have people that are making your day-to-day really difficult, right? Hold on, let me do my eyeliner really quick, because you know I can't do that on camera. So I just went ahead and used my Forever Artist Color Pencil in Boundless Bisque in my waterline, and then I just used my KVD liner to just do a subtle brown. Oh, and Mad Max Brown, just to do a very subtle line right there. I'm going to go ahead and try to do my lower lashes while I keep talking, but we'll see how that goes. So anyway, to get on with it, so that's been my story. Like, I've just struggled in the medical field, and I think it's with any profession that we all have a hard time, but when you're dealing with people in that capacity that are sick and you just see them getting the care that you feel like isn't the utmost best care that they could get, it gets very hard, very frustrating. So last week, anyway, I was talking to my oldest daughter about my workday frustrations, and I expressed how I wished I could discuss these things online so that more people could be more aware of a lot of the problems within the healthcare system, you know. So I work with mostly elderly people. I mean, I do have some younger folks because I work in an area where the health literacy, you know, isn't the best. You know, it's really not. These people just don't know. They don't really take care of themselves, you know, X, Y, Z. And, you know, that makes it hard. So I end up having a lot of younger people that are really sick because they just didn't take care of themselves. You know, they had a lot up against them and, you know, whatever else. So anyway, I'm like expressing this to my daughter, and like we're, you know, talking about some things, and I'm just, you know, my frustrations and how I'm supposed to deal with things. And I'm like, how do I bring light to the situation? And I'm like, you know, I wish I could get online and talk about it, but you have to be really careful about what you talk about. It's not like I can talk to people about specifics because, you know, I don't violate like HIPAA or anything like that. Like, you can't do that. It's just generalized stuff. So she was like, you can just talk about it while you do your makeup. And I was like, oh, I was like, maybe, I don't know. So then I really started mulling it over. So from that tiny little seed that she planted, you know, I had this new idea born, and I've decided to create a new series on my channel called Medical Mysteries, Mayhem, and Makeup. So while I was pondering the idea of talking about what I encounter on the daily, I really started to think, you know, about the medical field as a whole. I don't know what that was that just went by. That was really loud though. So while I was pondering like this idea, I came up with, you know, the name, the Medical Mysteries, Mayhem, and Makeup. And I was really pondering the idea, talking about, you know, what I encounter, you know, daily. But then I really started, to think about, you know, the medical field as a whole, and like where it all started, the history of it, and how it evolved. And honestly, there really is a lot of, excuse my language, there really is a lot of fucked up stuff that has happened in the history of the medical field. And I just was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, like the medical field has been screwed up like since the beginning, and not necessarily with how people are treated, but the way things came about and the way things were discovered and the way like people were treated with different, you know, trials and things, and you know, just all throughout history. And I want to talk about it. Like, I want to make more people aware. And I was like, gosh, there's so many things that a lot of people probably just don't realize or don't know. And, you know, I'm like, I love makeup. I'm in the medical field. And again, I had a passion for it. I still have a passion for helping people. But then I'm like, maybe I could make this work. Maybe I could do these two things together, sit and do my makeup and talk about these things throughout history, or things that are going on, or, you know, different diagnoses that I come across. Like, there's still things that I read through people's medical charts and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I haven't heard of it. And then I have to like educate myself and like learn about it. And I just thought maybe that was something I could do, you know, with you guys. And I'm hoping that you'll enjoy it. And I don't know, I feel like I feel like it could just be, you know, something exciting. I'm just going to go ahead and put on, that was a, let's see, that was a NYX lip liner in pale pink. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use this Ulta Beauty lip oil. It's just a really pretty pale pink. So I'm just plop that on real quick. There's somebody riding around on a dirt bike and it's dark, but it's really loud. So I hope that doesn't pick up. And then over top of that, I'm going to put on this P. Louise lip drip. I thought this had a little bit of sparkle to it, but I don't know. So anyway, that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to start this series, again, called Medical Mysteries, Mayhem, and Makeup. And I can't guarantee what day it'll be uploaded, but I'm going to try to do at least one video a week talking about some kind of medical related thing while I sit and do my makeup. So I hope you all will join me along the way as I explore and discuss these medical mysteries, the mayhem within the medical field, you know, and see where this goes. So anyway, that is my exciting news, and I really hope that you guys will come along with me on this journey, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or evening or whenever you're watching this. Bye.